What's going on, YouTube? Malice here with part 2 of the Let's Play Stranded Alien Dawn. So in the first episode, we built ourselves a little tiny shack, got a couple resources started. I'm a tad bit late because I've been focusing on a few things I mean, this is kind of necessity for me right now, but I do need to start working on their clothing. I need to start prepping for the winter. So let's see. What do I have available? Nothing's activated. Okay. Can't do that one. Can't do that one. I can run that one though. Get a few jobs for Ken started. And then I'm going to take a look at the research. As there's nothing in here right now. Let's activate the tailoring and the weaponsmithing. These are going to be huge. And after those are completed, I'll activate the flamethrowers because those are going to be very important to our trap setup. Let's get the I don't think we're going to need the lightning rods just yet, so let's go musical instruments after we do the spaceship deconstruction. And that'll be what Chris is going to be doing. Everybody else, well, they've got things pre-planned. Alright, so butcher and hunt. Ken will stop doing what he's doing here in a moment. The thin smoke mission. Oh, that's another thing I needed to do really quickly. We need to add ourselves a furnace. Let's do 3. Still need 8 metal alloys for this. I'm hoping we'll have enough time to get the thin smoke mission. Just need to have one of these completed and then run a little bit of scrap metal through it. Come on, Rocka. Get the building, buddy. Somebody get the building. Who's my builder? Grayson? Rocka? Rocka and Grayson. They need to get to work. Why is Rocka transporting? What am I missing over here? Alright, let's get some sticks. And that's probably what I'm missing. Yeah, I need sticks to build that. Okay. So let's get Vanessa doing that. Go to production. We'll make a metal tailor and a workbench. And put those side by side. Oh, perfect. Thank God, Ken. Oh, lifesaver right here. He found us some metal alloys, and that's going to immediately be thrown into this. This is going to get constructed, and then we're gonna hopefully have enough time to do the thin smoke mission. Oh, where are the bugs at? They're over here. There's only 19 of them. I don't know how much time that thin smoke mission's going for. I want to say we have a total of 3 days. Just gonna let them sleep a little bit so that they're not overly tired. The scarabs are over here, so once they attack, we will have a little bit of time to get to the other side of the traps. And moving them out. Then speed up time. Actually, let's not go too fast. I don't want them to tear apart my base. Okay, looks like majority of them are following. the clear from them attacking my base. And there we go. Pretty easy. It says 3 injuries, but they're superficial. Nobody's bleeding. Which that's the key part. And Ken's being healed first. Sweet. And Rock is constructing the balloon. Somebody needs to refuel it. Please, refuel the balloon. I think that's Grayson's job. Yeah, we're gonna wait for Grayson to construct the balloon. Or, sorry, to refuel the balloon after he gets done eating. Because that's what he's gonna do. Right? Cutting? No. Somebody refueling the balloon for me? Anybody? Raka? Someone? There we go. Raka's gonna do it. Expedition. Thin smoke. Oh, we got plenty of time. Perfect. Send Ken. We just got attacked, so we don't have to worry about being attacked again. So now would be the perfect time to send the only person with a weapon out on an expedition. And once this gets crafted, the first thing we want to do is we want to build a couple shirts, at least 2. Okay, and then go in and make the coat. I like to make the coat. I'm going to make 2, just to make some placeholders. And then make some trousers. It's better than nothing. These are sturdier light shoes, so we'll make 2 pairs of them, as we don't have any hides yet, and make a couple beanies. Though we will start having some hides once I construct a drying rack. I'm going to put the drying rack over here. I'm going to put 2 of them. One of them is going to be for raw meat, and the other one is going to be... Hold on, did I select this one? Okay, so one of them is going to be raw meat, and one of them is going to be for hides, and a little bit of raw smoke leaf. Come on, Ken. Bring somebody back for me. We got Katina. Ooh. Yes. So Katina is a really useful healer. And now that we have a new person, go into the schedule. Go ahead and pause it if you need to, which I paused it just to, just for the sake of showing you guys that, you know, don't be afraid to pause the game. I'm just gonna let it run. Alright, so activities. Katina, as you see, is a 6 healer. So that's primary job. She does not construct. She does not hunt. She harvests, and she's interested in harvesting, so we're going to leave that. She does not cut. She's interested in ranching and planting. I'm also going to set her to cooking. She can craft a little bit, but I don't need her to. Honestly, I'll set the crafting as a 5. Turn off the observation. Turn observations to a 5 and disable research. So these will be our 5s. Just for now. We're going to adjust all this later. Alright, so she's a healer primary. We have a primary cook in Vanessa. But let's go ahead and get 2 primary cooks. She likes to harvest, but before you harvest, you need a planter. So that'll be 2. Harvest and ranch will be a 3. I'm going to leave ranch at a 3 because we don't have any animals yet. So we don't have to worry about them too much. So that'll be our 3. Will be harvest and then secondary ranch. I don't know what one I want to have her set here, so we're just going to leave this as such. We'll just leave that as fives. Our four will be observations, and that's how we're going to set her up. She's going to be a planter, a harvester, a cooker, and a crafter. So if we don't have anybody crafting at any given time, she'll be able to do it. Next, we need to go over here. I'm going to make about 20 bandages. And then, let's make animal fats one time, just to get the recipe. Don't have to worry about slop. Weapons, though. I don't have any wood from trees. However, let's get a couple of bows, short bows. And then find the trees. Let's start by cutting these down. Cut down those trees. I forgot to do the fallen ones. Oh well. And we're on a low food supply, which means pause my game. There's probably a few things we could do here. Until we're gonna make 5. And I'm gonna make 5. Honestly, I should make a secondary campfire since we have 2 cooks. That's what I'm gonna do. That's just gonna be the one to keep us warm, and I'm gonna put the campfires over here. So I'll leave the veggie soup active just because we need something. They need something to eat right now, actually. So let's go over here, and we're gonna harvest the fruit bushes. There's a couple of food crops around here somewhere. We got some grain. Did I not research them? Oh no. Alright, so we're going to find the food items really quick, and we're going to research them. I've got the silicone leaves. Alright, so now would be a perfect time to get all of our food items observed and start getting the rest of things observed. Now that we have 6 people on day 12, it's actually really good. I want to observe everything. Okay, so that's those items. Don't need to observe them. I do need to observe those. I need to observe these, as they are also a food item. I've already got something scheduled for that. Where are they observing? The wide leaf plant, tall leaf plant. Perfect. See if there's anything they need to observe. No. Oh, I can make this for Ken. Ah, some food. It's not a lot of food, but it's something. Lost harvest. Oh, it's because we didn't have storage for it, and now we do. Alright, now would be the perfect time to set up our farm. Now that we have a little bit of food to work with. So I'm going to do first. I'm going to figure out whereabouts we're going to do the entire farm. So I think I'm going to start here. And then we can extend the field. Just like so. I'm going to try and get it as close in as I can. So probably pausing the game now would be a really good idea. Okay, that's good enough for right now. We're going to put the grain next to it. And don't worry, I'm going to extend it a little bit further. I just want to get all of the area down here squared away first, because this is the harder part to get lined up. And then let's see if we can't extend it a little bit. Can't do that way, can't do that way. So that's going to be that for now. So let's extend this up slightly. Not a whole lot though. We don't need a massive field. Just something that's going to be substantial enough to keep our operations running. There. Okay, the next thing I'm going to plant is the buttermelon. Or no, I'm going to do the beef berries, because they are also a single I want to get all the singles down here, or at least as many as I can. So the fruit bush is next. It's a double, but that's fine. And the buttermelon. Okay, so that's our food. All of our food. Then we have our non-edibles. All right, so from here, I'm going to extend the few fields that I do want to extend. Hold on, let me make sure to do this correctly, you guys. Extend the field, then we're going to bring it up just a few more. Nothing too substantial, but still enough to where I won't ever have to worry about food again. As for the full size of the field that I'm doing right now, you don't have to make it this large. And if you're worried that your people aren't going to be able to harvest all of that resource, or if you're worried that they won't harvest any other resource because they're too busy on one field, you can set it to harvest until you have a set amount, which is what I plan on doing as well. Now that I'm mentioning it, let's go ahead and swap them all over to until instead of forever. And what that'll do is it'll allow us to, like I said, get what we need, but not over focus a single resource. I don't like over focusing. There's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, there's just so much more you can do. Oops. Extend the field. And this is the this is the skin bark. So this one isn't as important. The next one, the silicone leaf, this one is important. This one you want a large field of. So after I place the field, I'm probably going to double its size, just because of how useful this stuff is, especially in endgame. And then we have some cotton, which equally is important. So go ahead and finish off extending the field. You don't have to square it off like I'm doing. I just like the way it looks. And that's that. Alright, so the next thing, we have some big bushes. I'm going to put these over here, as they're not as important, but they're actually, hold on, I'm going to put them yeah, I'll put them over here. So big bushes are a necessity, so we'll extend it a little bit. About that. And that leaves room for things over here. Then later on we can add some trees, and then honestly there's room for trees like right in here too. So, and that's the farm for now. I don't want to add the trees in just yet. We have 3 different types. I want to get the rest of what we need in before we put the trees. Now, actually, no, let's just add the trees. Where would be a good place? So if we're putting the house here, what I could do is I could remove the bush and have this be our food and base resource farm side. And then I can make another farm over here. No. Let's add the trees before we put the bushes. And I don't need a massive area. I just need the size of the trees to be the size of the trees. Since there are 3 types, we won't have to worry about anything. And then the big bushes. There. Oh, that works out pretty well, actually. And then I want to extend the big bushes to about there. Nice. Okay, and that sets us up for the beginning of our farming. Now let's see here. Let's go ahead and disable the planting of certain things, like the trees. I'm going to want the cotton. I'm going to want the silicone leaf. The skin bark, also going to want that. And I said that was all our food, but we just discovered something else, I believe. No, we're going to discover something else here with, why is it not being researched? Oh, it is being researched currently by Krista. Smoke leaf. But that's going to be right here. That's why I decided to extend this out a little bit. Smoke leaf, you don't need a whole lot. You don't want a whole lot anyway. You just want a couple, maybe 100 smoke leaf, 200 smoke leaf at a time, because all it's really used for, that anyway that I use it for, is for tobacco pipe. You know, it's a calming effect. It's really the only reason that I even plant it in the first place. And there it goes. It's also used for tea boiling, which I think I'm going to incorporate that more in this playthrough. More tea. Extend the field as much as we can to about right there. And then also extend it so that it's flush. Just like so. And that's our farm, ladies and gentlemen. Now this one, I'm going to say until, let's go 200. No, 100. Yeah, we'll go for 100. Nah, screw it. Let's go 500. We'll get one good batch in. And then I'll disable the planting and the harvesting of it. Oh, I'll disable the harvesting of it at least. As for the fertilize, you have to have animals to be able to fertilize your plants. Let's see, what are we needing now? We're on day 14. We just hit the summer. We're getting everything planted finally. Some things are going to need to be planted before others, so I'm going to disable that. I'm going to disable this just for right now, and I'm going to disable that. I want to get the food going immediately. And once the food is planted, then I'll reactivate these other items. Let's get them doing that right now. Limit reach, not enough items. Waiting worker. Alright, so go back into the weapons. We're going to make a couple spears. And we're going to make a couple crossbows. And not try to pause the game. Alright, so now that we're over here, we can disable the veggie soup. We can activate this one. This is going to be our veggie soup. And this one is going to make our meat soup. Since we have 2 people eligible for cooking, they can do both. And I have this, which means it is time to do some hunting. Hunt those. We're going to start getting some meat as soon as Ken. Well, he might actually just go straight to hunting. Who knows? Let's harvest these over here, as we still need food. Got the smoke leaf learned. Trying to see if there's anything else that I need. I mean, we can harvest the grain crop now. Harvest them. Come down here. Let's harvest some of these. Just to have them on hand and to unlock a few things. And now that we have our deconstruction for spaceships learned through our research with Krista, speaking of, let me see what we're doing now. On the musical instruments, oh, that's the last thing we need, so let's go ahead and pause it. Perfect timing, too. So, I'm going to want tickling. I'm going to want the electric grid immediately. I'm going to want construction basics and then some bench pressing. Now give them some leisurely activities to keep them from breaking down mentally. The more they have available to do, the better they will do. Too bad I didn't get somebody else besides Katina. I mean, Katina's not bad. As you see, she's out there doing her job. She's doing what Krista would be doing if we didn't have her researching. Speaking of, actually, once Krista's done doing this research, I'm going to have her out in the fields. We need to get the rest of this place ready for the winter. And the best way to do that is to get it going immediately. You got to get your food planted. You got to get your resources planted after that. Get your sticks and that stuff going. Did we research the hay yet? We did, which means grass is available. And I'm going to put the grass way over here. Nope, not a whole lot of it. Since it is going to be slightly longer. There we go. Actually, no, we do need to extend this just slightly. Just ever so slightly. There we go. To about that. And since this field requires 2 slots to grow each piece of grass, I'm trying to get the best mix so that it's more squared off. Because it won't do anything in like this little piece right here. And they won't do anything in this little piece right here. So there. It's a completely workable space form now, with no little spots that aren't going to be worked on. And then disable the plant, because we want them to focus on getting our food. It's going to be their primary job. Uh-oh. How's that electricity coming? I'm going to need this as well, so let's go ahead and do that. Rain and a heat wave. It's an interesting combination. Not going to lie. Alright, so let's see. Let's grab... No, we got a pulse cannon, so I would like to generally give the pulse cannons to the ladies. So let's give her a pulse rifle, as it's going to level her up a little bit faster than the boys, as the pulse rifle, it has a wider range, so you hit more targets with it. So it's extremely useful. Now I'm going to give the laser pistol to Raka, and I'm going to find Grayson and give Grayson, no, undraft. There we go. I'm going to give him a short bow. There we are. And now the next time we get attacked, we'll have a few people with weapons to be able to defend the rest of our survivors, at least until Grayson and everybody is able to supply us with some more weaponry. Rocket's over here doing some tailoring work. Looks like we have a couple shirts pre-made, so I'm going to pause the game. And now is the perfect time to go into our apparel. So tops, I want to disable the jackets. I want to disable these pants. This is going to be our warm weather gear. And then over here is going to be the cold weather. So we only have one type. Disable those. We only have one type of hat right now, so we don't have the other ones available, so there's nothing we can really do. I'm going to disable trousers, disable summer shoes and sneakers, and disable weapons and tools. And then over here, we're going to disable everything but weapons, and over here, we're going to disable everything but tools. And then hit start. Over here, we're going to smelt until we have a total of 100 in all three. We don't have bricks or concrete available to us quite yet, so once we get those, we'll put them in. But we don't have them, like I said, so don't even bother with it yet. Once Krista does the research for it, though, we will be getting those in place. Don't do the tutorial. Or do the tutorial if you're new. It teaches you about consumption and proper planning. But I don't need that. If you're playing alongside me, which is the intention of this video and this series, then you won't have to worry about anything, as you're in perfectly good hands. You put one lightning rod down, and then take a look and see what's going on. So Nessa's handling the traps. Let's go ahead and butcher you. Ken still has a couple things going on. A few jobs that he can do. I'm gonna have somebody come over here and harvest this. We're gonna want the cloth blossom immediately. And then I'm gonna have somebody cut down a ton of trees as we're getting ready to make a house. Cut, cut. Cut the sticks. And there we go. Did I get some new weapons? Nope. If I did, they're not in storage yet. Another important resource that you're going to want to start getting soon, you don't have to worry about it right now, but soon is going to be the silicone leaf. That's going to be helping us out later on down the road. A lot of advanced resources require silica. So the more you have on hand, the better off you're going to be. Again, let's activate the grain, get it harvested, brought over to the base. Grayson's cutting down and getting prepped for the house, and I'm just waiting on Krista to learn the construction basics. Once she gets done with that, I don't know if I want to build the house out of stone or build it out of wood. What I might do is I might build the initial house out of wood, as Grayson can build things with out of wood significantly faster. But then again, the structural integrity that you get from stone is a little bit better. And then when I'm breaking down the stone and upgrading it to concrete, I'll get a little bit more stone back to then turn into more concrete. Choices. Honestly, it doesn't matter which you go for. Whichever you have a more abundance of a resource. So if you've got a ton of wood, build it wood. If you have a ton of stone, I would recommend the stone. I do recommend the stone, mainly because of the slightly better structural stability, integrity. If the animals attack it, it's going to take a little bit more of a beating. So that's what I'm going to build. I'm going to make it out of stone. But Grayson cutting the trees, what he's doing is he's getting us prepared for later on down the road. He's putting in all this wood. It's going to be converted to sticks and used a little bit here and there. I don't think we're going to need that much though, so let's disable some of it. Disable this side. There we go. Something like that. And that's not a whole lot. That'll take us to about a couple thousand, which is ideal actually. Get some grass. And again, we're going to take a look at what we've got going on after I select all of this to be harvested. Now where's that stone at? Oh, it's up here towards the top. Oops. Oh well. Alright, so we're going to want at least one house. I usually make them about a 9x9. Just to give enough room for everybody to move around in it and not disturb each other's sleep. I really hope Raka and Katina get along. That way Ken and Carissa can get along. Either or. We have the perfect ratio of men to women. If there's any lesbians or gay men in the group, I feel sorry for them because, you know, there ain't nobody for them currently. We might get somebody though. Who knows? Signal rocket. So for this one, we're going to send Ken yet again, as he's my go-to man for everything mission-based, and I probably shouldn't have sent him in. It doesn't really matter. It's only 24 bugs. And they're over here. And Raka's already fighting. Oh, that's right. Where's Katina? I have to do a few things to her settings really quickly. I disable her raw food. Vegetables and fruits are okay. And the same for everybody else now. Where's Raka? Here he is. Let me activate him, and then vegetables and fruits is just fine. In fact, I encourage my people to eat some vegetables and fruits in their diet, as having abundance of food variety will also increase their mental. So there we go. Ken, Krista, Vanessa, Katina. Where's Grayson? There's Grayson. Standing in the field. Vegetables and fruits for you, buddy. And then let's speed up time. Now that Ken's out, I'm grabbing everybody, drafting them, and we're going to bring them behind the wall now. That way there's absolutely no chance of them getting hurt. And then Grayson's going to do a little bit of cutting, and then I'm going to grab him and move him over. That way after we get attacked, I'll at least have a few supplies waiting for me. I'm going to grab all this stone while we're waiting. Ore deposit, mine all that. Here they come, finally. Okay, so find the middle of your trap and put your people there. And then grab the stone and the ore deposits. While we wait, all these bugs will slowly migrate their way over to us. So let's speed up time. I don't like wasting too much time when it comes to attacking. I don't like wasting too much time in general when it comes to this game. We have a lot to do, and not enough time to do it. I don't plan on being in year 10 by the time I get everybody off this rock. I do want to do it in a timely fashion. So more or less, we just, we sit around and we wait while they kill themselves on the traps. Easy peasy. Couldn't have been any easier. And I'm not going to worry about butchering them yet, as I don't actually... I think I need to harvest them first before the research will unlock. Yes, right here. I need to have the bug pieces first. So we have to harvest some raw insects, and the fuel fermentation will unlock. And this is my go-to means of getting fuel. You get attacked quite frequently, so why not convert those little bugs that are attacking you into fuel that is then going to send people out to bring back survivors, resources, and research. That's right. You can bring back research in this game. Hold on, we find another person. We're gonna fight off the beast. And we've got Paulette. We found Krista's sister. One of Krista's two sisters, I might add. Okay, now that we have a 7th, this is a fantastic start. Like, this is better than both my other starts that I tried to do on this series combined, you guys. Like, I didn't get my 6th person until year 3. I didn't get a potential 7th until year 4. And even then, I forgot to save it, and then we couldn't get them back because of things and stuff. Yeah. When you find somebody, it's all RNG. There was a potential that I found somebody, and there was also an equally likelihood that I didn't find anybody. If I were to go back and restart it, I guarantee you we would not find Paulette. We wouldn't find anybody. We got really lucky just now. We've been getting really lucky with both Katina and Paulette. However, Raka is a guaranteed with this seed. He comes in around day 7-ish, between day 5 and day 12. I forget exactly which day, but he comes in fairly early. And now let's go ahead and go to our activities. We're going to come down to Paulette. Paulette is interested in healing, so we're going to let her do that. Now we have 4 healers. Absolutely fantastic. No construction. Indifferent to hunting. We can have her do some harvesting. She doesn't like to cut. Again, we can have her do some ranching and do some planting. No scavenging, no mining. She likes to cook, so we can have a 3rd cook. And we can have a 3rd cook. She's our best cook, so she's probably going to be our main cook. And then she likes to craft, so I'm going to push all these to 2s. I'm going to disable these, and there we go. Looking a little stacked in the crafting department. I need somebody who's not a crafter. I need somebody who's going to be a miner, a hunter, and a harvester. But you know what? Let's go ahead and activate you as a 5 for hunter, just so I have somebody that's gathering. Now we need is an 8th. Oh, I need another bed. Oh, okay. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to needing another bed this early. Oh, and I finished my housing. So, what we can do now is we can get the house pre-planned. And I did say that we like to do the stone, so I'm going to focus the stone. And then I'm going to plan it from over here, since we have the farm this close. 2, 3, space it out at 9 by 9. And since it's pause, that's going to be the first one. I'm going to go ahead and actually just pause the construction. because that's gonna be built here later on. Now the real one you want to build is this center one, okay? This one you want built. And then after it's built, you want to build another 9 by 9 because that's gonna be the front of the base. That's gonna be the living quarters, more or less. So actually, one thing I can do is I can do this at an 8 by 9, leaving that one gap, and then I can pause all this. And then I can add this strip down the middle and manually pause them individually. And there we go. All right, and then afterwards, the reason we're not going to build, oops, I didn't want to put that there. The reason we're not going to build these two yet is because we can just shove everybody in this room for now. But we need somewhere to put our goods. We absolutely need somewhere to get everything out of the sun. And that's what we're going to do right now. Now, I don't recommend doing what I'm doing, mainly because when you have too many jobs going on and not enough resources or not enough people to build your project, it's not going to get done. Like, I'm going to get this done right here, but now they're going to focus on all of this. So what I'm going to do is, again, we're just going to pause the construction, as I need to get the house, the place we're going to be living in, done first. So go to about there and hit the construct button. Hit the construct button. Yeah, you want to get the house, the first house done as soon as possible. That way when the winter hits, you'll have somewhere. Okay, now that we have that done, we can get the walls. Now the walls, we're going to do in stone also. Going to make sure that we get our 9 by 9. Okay. And then let's put a roof on this. A stone roof. And there we go. The next thing we're going to need is a doorway. We're going to put it right in the middle. And that's going to be the primary portion of the house. And this is going to get built significantly faster this way than if we were to build all of this, because the way things get built in this game is it goes from the first thing that you selected to build to the last in order, assuming that it has the required resources already placed into them, which turns it to this purple color. So anything purple is going to get built first. So if we're wasting all of our stone building a floor, I'm not going to be able to get the walls up, let alone the ceiling that's going to keep us protected from the elements. We're not going to stay warm during the winter. We're going to overheat during the summer. When it rains, we're going to get wet. You see what I'm trying to say here. So you want to build exactly how I just did it right there. That way, once the house is built, you already have all of your groundwork pre-planned. So if you want to build around it and set up other things, since you're not in need of certain aspects like the 2 front rooms, you can do that now and not have to worry about them wasting resources on this specific thing. Let me go ahead and take a look at the time. I don't want to go over. Okay, we're at 50 minutes. We're almost done here. So it says we have low food. And I can now plant all of these. I can plant everything. And I'm going to plant everything. Now that all our food is planted, I am going to set it all just to the until. That way we're not filling up our inventory with one thing. And there we are. And so there's no research queued, which is just fine. I don't need anything currently. The things I do need are already available to me. But let's just go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be doing here in a little bit. So, honestly, let's just knock this out now. And fuel fermentation. So we're going to want electricity. They're 3 hours, so they're really fast, and then 12 hours, so they're not as fast, but they're still pretty fast. Very crucial. And then I'm going to research concrete rooms. And the reason I'm doing this now, earlier in the series, or earlier in the video, I said that we want to keep research, at a minimum until wintertime when there's no crops being planted. I have 3 people to plant now. I think I have 4 people to plant. So I can relinquish one of them to their researching task. So that's actually works out in my benefit exponentially. Because when Katina's not doing so well, Katina's going to be working in there nonstop until we need to have somebody healed. That's like her first job. And you know what? After that, let's go for a long one because I want to make a cup of coffee and walk away and do a couple things. As we're pretty much done with the house now. We just got... Oh, I forgot. So, one very important thing, guys, is after you get this done, is you need to have at least one row along the wall that you want to have placed, or it won't build like such. It built here because we have something built right there, but it only does this when you actually have a tile on the other side, like what we have here, how we have pre-designated tiles. Yeah, they won't build it for some reason. I don't know why. They need to set it up to where it's like here in the front, where they just build the wall because it's on the pre-existing tile that it's supporting. But I guess they kind of view it as it being supported from both now. So, that's fine, that's fine. And then let's go ahead and get some leisurely activities. We're going to want some music. Put a couple hand pans. There are 7 people now. So we're going to put 5 hand pans. We're going to put 3 didgeridoos. Bring it to a total of 8. We only have 7, but you can have a total of 8. So best to prepare now. Let's go ahead and put 2 dartboards. Put some punching poles. Put a couple shooting targets. I'll put one about here, and then I'll put one over here. If you couldn't tell, I like symmetry. So a gap of 2 and a gap of 2. And then the statues. The statues aren't as important. You don't have to place these down if you don't want to. I'm just going to place them down just to place them down. I give my people a little bit extra. And I'll probably, break them down, move them around later on. Alright, that's going to conclude this video, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. For those of you that are playing alongside us, we have much more to come. In this next video, we're going to be tackling the rest of the house, getting our resources moved from outside into a shelter, and hopefully getting an eighth person. If you haven't gotten a sixth or a seventh person yet, I do feel bad for you. Keep trying. You will find them, I guarantee it. It just takes time. It's all RNG. But I promise you, you will find somebody. Just keep looking. Don't stop. If you have to, if you have enough fuel being created, just keep doing the exploration. You're bound to find something eventually. If not, you're going to get a ton of resources, so it's worthwhile. But thank you all again. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching. You guys take care, you stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.